Look, in my business you see a lot of valuable stuff come through the door, but every once in a while you hear about an item that's in a league of its own. That's the 1933 Double Eagle. This isn't just a coin, it's a piece of history you can hold in your hand, assuming you have millions of dollars to spare. It's a $20 gold piece, one of the last ever designed for the United States. When you talk about the top of the mountain for coin collectors, the absolute holy grail, this is it. There's really nothing else that even comes close to its story and its value. It represents a unique moment in American history, a time of massive change. The design itself is a work of art, a masterpiece from the famous sculptor Augustus St. Gaudens. On the front you have Lady Liberty, striding forward with a torch in one hand and an olive branch in the other. It's a powerful image, full of hope and progress, with the U.S. Capitol building in the background. On the back, you've got a majestic eagle soaring through the sky, a symbol of American freedom and strength. It's considered by many to be the most beautiful coin ever minted in the United States, and I'd have to agree. The level of detail is just incredible, a true high watermark for the U.S. Mint. Now let's talk about the gold. This coin is nearly pure gold, almost a full ounce of it. Back in 1933, its face value was $20. That was a lot of money during the Great Depression, enough to buy a nice suit or pay the rent for a couple of months. But the gold in it was worth about the same. Today, the value of the gold alone is a couple of $1,000s, but that's nothing compared to its value as a collector's item. The gold content is just a small part of the story. The real value comes from its incredible rarity and the fascinating history that surrounds it. So why is it worth millions? It's all about supply and demand, the most basic rule of business. The U.S. Mint struck nearly 500,000 of these coins, 445,500 to be exact. But here's the kicker, they were never officially issued. They were never meant to be spent. So while hundreds of thousands were made, almost none were supposed to exist. This creates a paradox that makes collectors go crazy. It's a coin that was born but never allowed to live, and that forbidden status is what makes it the most sought-after and valuable coin on the entire planet. It's a true legend in the world of numismatics. To understand why this coin is so special, you have to go back to 1933. The country was in the grips of the Great Depression. People were losing their jobs, their homes, and their savings. Banks were failing left and right. There was a widespread panic, and many people started hoarding gold. They didn't trust paper money or the banks anymore. They wanted something tangible, something with real intrinsic value. Gold was the ultimate security. This hoarding created a huge problem for the economy, as it pulled a massive amount of money out of circulation, making a bad situation even worse. This is where President Franklin D. Roosevelt comes into the story. FDR stepped into office and knew he had to do something drastic to save the economy. One of his first major acts was to take the United States off the gold standard. In simple terms, this meant that paper money would no longer be redeemable for gold. He wanted to stop the hoarding and give the government more control over the money supply to fight the Depression. It was a controversial move, but he believed it was absolutely necessary to prevent a total collapse of the financial system. This decision changed American money forever. As part of this plan, FDR issued Executive Order 6102. This order made it illegal for private citizens to own most forms of gold, including gold coins. People were required to turn in their gold to the government in exchange for paper currency at the rate of $20.67 per ounce. The government was trying to get all the gold back into its vaults. This order is the single most important reason why the 1933 Double Eagle became a forbidden treasure. The very coins that were being produced at the mint were suddenly declared illegal for the public to possess. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia had already produced that year's batch of $20 gold pieces. These coins were sitting in the vaults, ready to be distributed, but because of FDR's new executive order, they were instantly obsolete. They could not be released into circulation as money. The government had just made holding gold coins a crime, so it couldn't turn around and start handing out new ones. The entire run of 1933 Double Eagles was trapped, caught between the old world of the gold standard and the new world of modern monetary policy. Their fate was sealed before they ever saw the light of day. With the new laws in place, the government had a big problem on its hands: what to do with the nearly 500,000 brand new 1933 Double Eagles sitting in its vaults. The answer was simple and brutal. They were ordered to be melted down. Every single one of them was to be taken, thrown into the furnace and turned back into anonymous gold bars. It was a tragic end for what was supposed to be a beautiful new currency. The plan was to wipe them from existence, to make it as if they were never even created. This act of destruction is what set the stage for the coin's future legend. The melting process began in 1937. Crate after crate of the shiny new coins were taken and destroyed. Imagine watching hundreds of thousands of these masterpieces, fresh from the die, being reduced to molten metal. For the government, it was just a matter of accounting, turning illegal coins back into raw material for the nation's gold reserves. For history, it was the erasure of a classic. The official records were clear. All 445,500 coins were accounted for and melted down. Except, as we all know, that's not exactly how the story ended. A few managed to slip through the cracks. Somehow, a small number of these coins escaped the melting pots. The exact number isn't known for sure, but it's believed to be around 20. How did they get out? The most likely story is that a corrupt mint cashier, a guy named George McCann, swapped some of the 1933 coins for older, more common gold coins before they were melted. He then sold them to a Philadelphia jeweler, Israel Swit. It was an inside job. These escaped coins were no longer just money, they were contraband. They were illegal to own, making them secret treasures that had to be hidden from the eyes of the law. For years, these escaped coins existed in the shadows of the collecting world. The Secret Service got wind of their existence in the 1940s and began a mission to track down and confiscate every last one. They were relentless. Over the next decade, they successfully recovered several of the coins, which were then promptly destroyed. This hunt only added to the coin's mystique. It was a federal crime to even possess one. The government was determined to enforce its policy, making any surviving 1933 double eagle not just rare, but a piece of forbidden history, a numismatic outlaw. Out of all the coins that escaped, one has a truly incredible story. This particular coin found its way into the collection of King Farouk of Egypt, who was a passionate collector of everything from stamps to, you guessed it, coins. He legally obtained an export license for his 1933 double eagle from the U.S. Treasury Department in 1944, just before the government realized another one had slipped out. When the Secret Service tried to get it back, World War II and diplomatic issues got in the way. King Farouk's coin was safe in his palace in Cairo, making it the only one with a hint of legal legitimacy. After King Farouk was overthrown in 1952, his vast collections were set to be auctioned off. The U.S. government requested that the 1933 double eagle be pulled from the auction and returned. The coin then vanished. For decades, nobody knew where it was. It disappeared from the public eye completely, becoming a ghost, a legend whispered about by collectors. Then, in 1996, it resurfaced in New York, where it was seized by the Secret Service during a sting operation at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. After a long legal battle, a unique settlement was reached. The U.S. government and the private owner agreed to an unprecedented deal. The coin would be monetized, meaning the U.S. Treasury would officially issue this single coin, making it legal to own. It was then decided that the coin would be sold at auction, with the proceeds split between the government and the private owner. In 2002, the King Farouk specimen of the 1933 double eagle was sold by Sotheby's for a staggering $7.59 million. It shattered all previous records for a coin, cementing its status as the most valuable in the world. For years, it held that title. In 2021, that same coin was sold again, this time for an even more mind-blowing price, $18.9 million. This sale once again made it the most expensive coin ever sold at auction. Today, this is the only 1933 double eagle that a private individual can legally own. It's a survivor. It escaped the melt, was owned by a king, vanished for half a century, survived a government sting operation and endured a landmark legal case. It's not just a piece of gold, it's a tangible link to the Great Depression, a symbol of beauty, rarity, and a one-of-a-kind story. And in my world, story is everything.